I went to the International Peace Gardens in Salt Lake City, Utah. I had no idea what to expect, but what I saw was surprising. Utah is full of immigrants and refugees. The culture of our state is surprisingly diverse with people from all over the world. The International Peace Gardens is full of statues and monuments from all of those places, a celebration of everyone who makes Utah what it is. This is the International Peace Gardens, a place where the world comes together, right here in Utah. I only found out about this park a few weeks ago. I was looking around Google and it popped up. I saw some pictures and it looked intriguing, and I asked around work, and some of my coworkers who live in the area had never even heard of it. I had to go check this out. This garden is around 70 years old, and it's big. As you'll see, it's got some stories to tell. It's peaceful, people running on the trail that follows the river, and 2 other families were enjoying the garden. This is a cultural landmark for Salt Lake City, representing countries from all over the world, and yet, something feels off. I decide to follow my instinct and turn right. What can I say? Left might be the scenic route, but right just felt right. A pagoda here, a bridge there. It's peaceful and quiet, with a touch of mystery. There's this cool bridge where I couldn't help but run my hands along the bushes. It's the kind of bridge you almost expect to walk over on your way to an alternate dimension. The history of the International Peace Gardens is a little difficult to pin down with only online research, and finding info about the China Garden specifically is even more elusive. Luckily, I at least found some photos. There was a Salt Lake Tribune photographer there on August 8th, 1953, but as far as I can tell, the story never made the cut. Although one issue that week featured the story of a goose caught in a Brooklyn TV antenna. At least we didn't have to see any Chinese-American children in the newspaper. I made a quick stop in Greece. This cool tree tunnel is pretty cool, both in the sense that it is neat and that the temperature is slightly lower within it. And at the end, you can see a small pool with this really awesome... Seems like footage is missing, but that's okay. So is the statue of the Little Mermaid from Denmark that was supposed to be on display there. There's a sign when you go to look at the Little Mermaid saying that it's been removed for renovations, but it's been gone for a long time. So just don't question it. It's being restored. Don't worry. And then there's Finland. There was this cool sign and a birdhouse with some chairs. I decided to cut through Finland to explore this cool area in the bushes. I couldn't tell if it was part of the experience or not, but I saw this squirrel that was looking at me. And a sign about troll statues, but I couldn't see any. I couldn't see a lot of things. Oh well, I found this though. It didn't look like an official trail, but it was a fun little loop. Oh, and I found some of that mythical broken glass that everyone's always warning me about. Luckily, I survived. Then there were these bridges. They were definitely official, which makes me think the path in question is a place I am intended to be, but it didn't feel right being there. Anyway, that side quest was completed, and I escaped with full health to enter Switzerland, a particularly lovely garden. It is simple, a miniature model of the famous Matterhorn, with a couple of small traditional buildings at the base. I was getting anxious to see this cabin-looking thing that I kept seeing pictures of on Google. I had to be close because it looks awfully Scandinavian. I crept quietly behind this tree because the next stop was Norway. The centerpiece of this garden is a small stabber, which I can only assume is some sort of military rank to Norwegians. Luckily, I made it all the way to this strange obelisk with symbols on it. I thought I might casually read about their meaning, but all I got was, these are Norwegian symbols. From bottom to top, I see a drowning fisherman, a pirate, a farmer, a woman carrying a baby, a reindeer, snowflakes, and the sun. The Smithsonian agrees with me. Next, I learned by reading the sign that exists that this building is actually called a stabber, and it's a design that dates back to around 900 AD. So that's pretty cool. No killers inside, although the stauber on a farm might be cleared out and used as a guest house for special events like a wedding or the funerals of their enemies. I walked by Italy to see this huge mosaic that was pretty cool, but a few of the brass city labels were missing. Nothing else was super noticeable there. I wasn't sure where I was going next. As you can see, there are no signs. My only choice was to enter the garden and look for clues. As I walked in, I saw a stone with the outline of a sign that I guess would have told me where I was, but eventually this bonsai made it clear that I was in Japan. While I was sitting there contemplating in the quiet, I heard off in the distance the familiar tune of the Dave Matthews Band, reminding me that I had not, in fact, been whisked away to Japan. I decided I needed to get the heck out before YouTube strikes me down before I even get this channel going. Don't get me wrong, though. I know I laid on the deadpan, dry humor pretty thick. It's the Carl style. But seriously, not all of this park's problems can be the caretaker's fault. I work at a historic site on let's say, a popular piece of public land, and I see very frequently what human beings will do without a second thought. So I don't place the blame totally on the caretakers of this park. But also, here's the scoop on that Little Mermaid statue. It was stolen and then recovered 14 years ago. And as far as I can tell, it was never placed back on display. So it's been gone for 14 years. I'm willing to be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. But it's been gone for quite some time. And this is a park meant to represent the immigrants and refugees and the countries that they came from in the state of Utah. And to see those countries represented without so much as a sign saying which country it is very disappointing. At some point, you can't just point the finger at mischievous park patrons. On the International Peace Garden's website, the exciting news section says that the Salt Lake City Council recommended that the mayor fund a $325,000 renovation project. I read through the recommendations and application, feeling pretty excited about what was expected to happen with this great funding. But then I don't even know what to say. Even partially funding this would have made a massive difference. And I know there were so many projects that look like they were totally worthy of the money. And I know that not every worthy project can get fully funded. But this cut just hurts. It's another reminder that arts and culture and history are at the bottom of everybody's priority list. Even in the most liberal city in Utah that all of the conservatives cry about the mayor, we can't get this cultural landmark funded to look decent and have some good signs. It's very disappointing. But good news, when I hit 100 subscribers, I'll do a live stream at some exotic Utah location. So be sure to like and subscribe this video. Talk to your friends, tell them, hey, I found this dorky guy who's 40 and likes to walk around Utah and he's super cool. Do that and check out the links in the description below. I have some ways to support me and my social media stuff. Go do something historic.